Gino's the best thrower of the football in the world.
Really?
People they hear me say that
Yeah.
and they think that I'm crazy.
Okay.
I've seen everybody throw. There's
Yeah.
no one who I haven't
Okay.
seen throw.
Yeah.
I've seen Mahomes throw in person.
Mhm.
The only person I haven't seen up close and personal throw is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
But everybody I've seen throw, Geno Smith is the best thrower of the football in the world.
Q, what's up, brother? Where you coming from, man?
What is going on? I just actually flew in from Cleveland, Ohio.
What's in Cleveland, man?
Deshaun Watson's in Cleveland. He started throwing again, so when he
Nice.
starts throwing, I'm there.
Gotcha. How's that process been for him, man? Coming back, getting back into the fold.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. Someone who goes through the things that he's went through, injury wise, shoulder, Achilles. Then he tore his Achilles again. It's just
Wait,
a lot coming at him fast.
how does he do that again? Did he just?
So in the rehab process of the first time he tore his Achilles, he tore it again.
Man, that's tough.
Don't wish that on my worst enemy.
That's tough. Well, you had one, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm still fighting back from my Achilles.
Man, that is yeah, like you said, man, I don't wish it on anybody, man.
Each time's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Shoulder injury was really different because had to be so gradual in the way that you built him back because you're throwing with your shoulder. So that was really interesting and kind of how we worked back from that injury. And then in terms of the Achilles, it's really being mindful of how we're using the ground force, being able to do a lot of things that we need there because it's throwing a football, which is what I do. It all starts from the ground up, right? How you're able to put your feet in the ground, do those things, being able to stop, being able to rotate, generate force. So it's like a math problem, right? You figure out the problem, you try and work around the solution.
Yeah. So I've heard you said something about ground force. Sounds real scientific and special and something that most people don't understand. I've heard you mention stuff like that before, but break that down. We won't get into all the details of it, but I think it demonstrates how technical this process is for a lot of people who just think people get out there, they got an arm, they can throw, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Throwing the football is, I think there's a lot of people out there who can throw, but being able to be a quarterback is a lot different. But ground force, so it's a scientific measurement of how much force you can apply into the ground in order to move an object.
Okay.
And the object that we're moving is a football. So think of it like a spiral, like a vortex, right? It starts at the ground, works its way up, and rotates out of your hand here. So that's how you can kind of think of ground force, how much force you're applying in the ground to start the kinetic chain in order to get the ball moving in the right direction. That's like a 30,000 square foot view, and I could really drill into some stuff, but folks probably wouldn't care about that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Quincy Avery, CEO and founder of Quarterback Takeover. Welcome to another episode of the Heavy on Brand podcast. I got my guy finally in the building. We've been trying to get this going. Man, good to have you on, man. Just so proud of everything that you got going, my brother.
Absolute pleasure, man. I appreciate us being able to take some time. I hate that my schedule is always bouncing around, but I'm glad we got to do it.
I get it, bro. I get it, man. I get it. So let's dig into it, man. You coming from Cleveland, right? But you've been all over the place, man. I seen you show up on the red carpet in a few places, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. We had to start there first.
Yeah, so I really got to understand the value of branding, right? I think that is really important with the documentary that came out. So I had the documentary, The Quincy Avery Effect, which really went into me and the things that I do. But hiring a PR team, that was something that was probably out of my comfort zone from things I haven't done before. Management team, I just signed an agent. So all those different things, you really get to see the effect that it has on your business, people seeing your face, being able to get out there in order to do the things that are necessary. But I also think that there's a lot of steps that you have to accomplish before you do those things. And I think that's where it's easy to miss the mark.
Yeah.
In terms of maybe putting the cart in front of the horse, like getting a PR team or getting a manager or getting an agent before you have things in place for them to manage or go create PR for.
Yeah, and I feel like, man, you and I have been doing stuff for so long, but I feel like you've always had or at least let's say in the past few years, right? You've had kind of those people around you to some degree, but I feel like you've been very, very thoughtful about the right time to activate them, for lack of better words. And it seems like you've been patient, and I think it's a lesson that can be learned by a lot of people. Is because, like you said, you don't want to pull the cart before the horse. You want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row from like a brand perspective, and everything lines up. But I know it's still, I know it can still be challenging to know that I got all these opportunities in front of me, but it's still quite like I need to wait a little bit longer. Like, was that an intentional process for you, or did it just kind of happen naturally?
No, I think that was very
Yeah.
intentional. In the space I've been in my life, I've learned valuable lessons in getting into spaces before you're prepared to be in those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's with quarterbacks who play on a level that they're not ready to play on yet,
Mm-hmm.
or in terms of my business that I built. So I know you know this, but I was reaching out to people
Yeah.
for years
Yeah.
trying to get my first client, like literally just reaching out. But in that time that I was doing that, I was still planning my first workout. So
Mm-hmm.
I had over a year to plan this work, like what I wanted this workout to look like.
Right.
I had done that 1,000 times. I got to do
Yeah.
that over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And it was being prepared in that way that allowed me to be successful when I got there. So I always am very conscious about getting into a situation that I'm
Mm-hmm.
not just prepared to be there, but prepared to be there and be the best person in that space, or at
Mm-hmm.
least feel like I'm the best person in that space. Because I think people see a level of confidence when you have that. I was fortunate enough to be on ESPN maybe 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? So a couple weeks ago, I'm on ESPN, and I wasn't nervous.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I've said I was going to do this for a long
A
time.
long
Like I've
time.
got to do this
Yeah. Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
over and over again,
Yeah.
and I think that if I wasn't prepared or didn't have the understanding that I do have, or got into it before I was ready, I think it could have went a different direction.
Yeah. So shooting a documentary, talk us through like that process. How involved? I know it's a long process.
Whew.
But I guess one of the questions that I have is, how much input did you give? I would imagine a ton, but how much input did you give to like the direction or the vision, the creative vision that you had around it versus them bringing to you like, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z. Like, what was that process like for you?
Very interesting. It was
Mm-hmm.
more interesting because of how the documentary came about.
Mm-hmm.
Years ago, the production company Religion Sports hit me up about doing a documentary.
Okay.
Didn't get picked up.
Mm-hmm.
Got a manager who got the documentary picture. Yeah, my manager Z
Mm-hmm.
got the doc picked up, and then we went back to that production company.
Okay.
So I wasn't as involved in exactly what it looked like. Like I
Okay.
would look at it, have
Mm-hmm.
some input. Z was very involved in that,
Mm-hmm.
more so than I was, because it's really difficult to tell a story about yourself and be mindful like what other people may find interesting.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
real.
try to like step away from that in that way. And I think that it came out in a way that I really appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually glad that I was less involved in terms of
Mm-hmm.
that. In terms of that, there's a lot of things behind the scenes that I had to step in, or
Mm-hmm.
because you also don't realize in production world, there's a lot of like it's very contentious. A lot of the time is somebody wants to go one way, somebody wants to go the other way, and then I
Mm-hmm.
would have to come in and be like, "Hey, this is what we're gonna do."
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I try to stay out of it more than anything else.
So you start the process of shooting a documentary. You kind of manage it, from afar, or you step in whenever you feel like, it's necessary. But I mean, how long were you guys shooting it?
We were shooting it for a little over a year,
Oh, that's a long
so
time,
it's
man.
a long time.
Yeah,
But you got a number of shoot days in that
yeah.
year, and they start shooting and they're starting to figure out what the story they want to tell, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
always figuring it out. So that was the difficult part.
Gotcha, gotcha. And I would imagine too, having to coordinate with everyone else who even appeared in it, like that process is
Yeah,
probably.
because I'm not just coordinating with myself, but it's a lot of NFL
Yeah,
quarterbacks who are in
exactly.
the
That's what I'm
documentary.
saying. Yeah,
Their
yeah.
schedules are really tight,
Hmm.
and then I'm trying to do it around times where I'm training them, so it's not too.
Invasive and
Yeah,
all that.
it was a lot. It was a lot of chess, like just trying to navigate those schedules in order to get those things done.
Yeah.
And then you're asking people to do things that they know that I typically wouldn't ask them to do.
Hmm.
Like even asking somebody like Tony Dungy to
Hmm.
come on. And you can tell in this interview process, he's really particular about what he wants to say. So
Okay.
just making sure, like I'm the person who's like, "Hey, yo, we're done here. Like
Yeah.
we've asked him enough.
Yeah.
and you don't see all the cut scenes from the things that they were asking him when he was really clear what he was not was like trying to stay away from. So those sort of things were that was the interesting part.
So you got to have a level of a certain level of a relationship with them to even be able to read that. Because people who don't know those folks, like you know them, like you've known these guys for years,
Right.
and you know what makes them tick. You even know their mannerisms, like all that. You're like,
You see him uncomfortable, you're
yeah,
like, yo, we good here.
let's nix this. Was there anyone, and you don't have to say who, was there
Mhm.
anyone that did not want to be in it?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's a few people who
really?
declined it. And I think that when we're talking about the space that I'm in and talking about specifically
Mm-hmm.
black quarterbacks, I think that guys are really mindful in the way in which they talk in that space because they don't
Yeah.
want to seem like they're playing victim and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it. I
Mm-hmm.
understood. It was pretty clear, no, I don't want to do this. I'll do anything else for you in the future, but this is not something I want to be a part of.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's a sensitive subject, man. It's a sensitive subject, especially when you got millions, but hell, billions on the
Yeah,
line.
these guys got a lot of money.
Yeah, they got a lot of
Yeah.
money on the line. And so, yeah, I mean, kudos to you for just being able to even navigate that because I know I would imagine that's you pulling. I won't say it's pulling favors, but the fact that we all are
It's a
prideful
favor.
people.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah, you
favor,
don't want to
man.
be like, I don't want to ask you all these stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People ask me for stuff all the time, but I think
Mm-hmm.
for someone like you, it's different.
Right.
But it's still, it's still one of those. It's still part of the process where you're like,
100%.
I could do without this if I don't had to. But shout out to you, man. Shout out to everyone that was involved, man. It came out extremely well. Anyone that I've had a conversation with about football, especially quarterback, like, hey, man, you gotta see my boy Doc.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man.
Nah, definitely.
Yeah, that's what's up. So I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, and you touched on the importance of branding. But what have you felt like what now that you have the documentary out? Talk to us about the shift you even seen personally, professionally, within the business, your clients.
So the shift that I've seen more than anything is the business because what I really want to become is the
Mm-hmm.
voice of quarterbacks. I want people to think
Okay.
about the quarterback position and say, well, what does Quincy think about this?
Mm-hmm.
So that I've seen an uptick in, especially people reaching out when they're curious about the position, like Bomani Jones or
Yeah, I saw
Rosillo,
that.
like all those
Yeah.
different things. I've talked to a couple of those guys before, but I think those things are easier to happen when you have the documentary. And then the
Mm-hmm.
ESPN thing, like I mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
would not have been possible without the documentary. So that is the lane that I want to be able to fill.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how do I sprint as hard as I can at that right now while the lane is open?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's the biggest thing for me is I can be patient for as long as I want, but then
Yeah,
when it's time to go, I gotta go
you
full
gotta go.
speed. And I think that was the important part about getting the team behind me that I have.
Yeah. So talk you mentioned earlier that you spent the whole year reaching out to folks
Mm-hmm.
and you without anyone responding, you're planning for your first workout that hadn't even been scheduled yet. Could you have imagined at that point, like, yo, I'm about to have a whole documentary on ESPN and all that stuff, doc?
Man, not one time, and I was chuckling about it today
Mhm,
because I'm in an NFL facility.
mhm,
There's 32 of these facilities in the world, and every single person who trains a quarterback would love to be able to train
1000%.
somebody in an NFL facility,
Yeah,
and I'm doing it right.
yeah,
And I'm the guy who's
yeah.
in there. The organization trusts me enough to let me in their facility, and it's not just this one
Mhm,
team; it's a multitude of teams
mhm,
who trust me in the same way, and a number of different players. There was never a time in my life where I envisioned that.
mhm,
That wasn't even the goal.
mhm,
Only thing I ever hoped for was just be able to train enough kids where I could, pay bills and live a comfortable life. And I think
mhm.
that I've been able to do that and a lot more. And being able to have a documentary and people over 500,000 people watch that
Damn,
documentary.
really?
Yeah, yeah. Watch the
That's
documentary,
tough.
right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like they care too, or at least they were
Mhm.
invested at one point or another.
Yeah, man, I did a great job with it, man. It was dope. It was dope. How was it going into those facilities, an NFL facility?
Hmm.
Because I think now it's probably a bit different than what it may have been before. I think you're one of the pioneers of, you know, people who actually train quarterbacks and have gotten well known for it. But I gotta imagine it wasn't really a widely accepted thing. especially if you're not coming from inside any
Yeah,
organization,
I
right?
had no relationship with these guys. They didn't have any real reason to
Yeah,
trust me. There was none of those things.
yeah,
And the thing that was working well for me was just my guys were all playing really well.
mm,
Like they were just balling.
mm-hmm,
And when that happens, I think people got to bend to the things that they want a little bit more. But I was nervous. I used to be so nervous walking in those NFL
yeah.
facilities, and even more so in NFL facility, college facilities. Before that,
What were you nervous about?
are they going to say no?
Mm,
Do they not want me in here? Because I've
mm-hmm.
been kicked out of college facilities many
Word.
times.
Okay.
Yeah, University of Tennessee used to kick me and Dobbs out all the time.
Wait, but
He was a
while he
star.
was there
Well, he was
as a
there, the
starter,
star
they would kick
quarterback.
y'all out.
Yeah, even so, there's times where he's a freshman, sophomore, where he was battling trying to get the job,
Yeah,
and they'd be like, "No, you gotta get out of here." But they would let another quarterback come in there with their quarterback trainer. So
that wasn't a part of
that
the
wasn't part of the
university.
yeah. So there was all these things that you
Yeah.
have to deal with throughout this that I've been. So you just navigate that, and I had to navigate it then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't navigate as much now. I kind of walk in there confident. I feel
Yeah.
really good. Talk to the coaches before I even make it in there. So it changes it when people know who you are in
Mm-hmm.
advance, but it's a lot of groundwork in order to get to that space.
Years of groundwork too.
And I think it is interesting. People and everybody thinks it's always like, man, it happened so fast. Like,
Hell
nah,
no.
nah, brother, it wasn't so fast. I didn't just start training
No.
guys who were starting in college. There was a lot of work we did
Yeah.
before that just to get to that point.
Man, it's been a what, at least a 10-year process for you?
At least I started doing this in 2011, 15
Oh,
years.
yeah, yeah. Shit, my
Yeah.
math is off.
A little over a
Yeah,
decade.
a little over a decade.
Yeah,
And it happened overnight.
exactly.
Oh man. That's good stuff, man. When it comes to where you're trying to go next, I
Hmm.
know you want to continue to be the voice of quarterbacks. And I think, one thing you didn't say, but I've heard you and I have spoken about this in the past before, where it's just like you care so much about the well being of these guys, where it's not just about, the sport is a part of it,
Hmm.
but many of these guys look at you as brothers, father figures, even for
Hmm.
some, I would imagine, especially the younger guys, um, as a mentor. Can run down a list of
Hmm.
how they view you and kind of the position that you play, and even with the coaches, whether they're at the college level or even in the NFL, now have to, I guess, for lack of better words, put some respect on your name from a standpoint of he's more than just a quarterback coach for these guys.
Hmm.
Like it's an emotional
Right.
connection that helps them perform better, you know, come Saturday, Sunday, Friday, whenever, right?
So how do we
Yeah.
include him? Because he's definitely
Yeah.
not only invested in these guys, but they're
Hmm.
invested in him and they care about what he thinks. And I help them play better. Like
Yeah.
even if I was like a really bad quarterback coach, or just
Hmm.
average, let's just say I
Hmm.
was just average. And when they threw with me, they didn't get any better. They just got more reps,
Hmm. Hmm.
but they left more confident. That would still be of a lot of value to
Yeah.
someone. I think. I think that I'm the best at my craft, but
Hmm.
even if I wasn't, I'd still be of value. So it's been interesting being able to kind of work through those
Yeah,
spaces.
yeah. I'll never forget, man. I was telling my pops this a while ago. I hadn't been out there in
Hmm.
years at this point, but when you were, I think Dobbs he would have been, I guess, college at this point or early
Hmm.
in college. I remember Emory was out there. He was like, Fitch, I need some receivers. I'm like, all right, bet. Come on. Dude, my hands were hurting so bad after that.
Yeah.
And as a college athlete, these dudes were just slinging it in a way, bro, that my hands were sore for like 2 weeks after
I don't think people understand. They have no idea how talented these dudes
that.
are.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to like see someone on TV be like,
Hmm.
"Oh, it's whatever."
Hmm.
These dudes have the ability to do amazing things with the football,
Yeah.
like in an accuracy way, energy way, like all the different things that they get to do in terms of throwing a
Hmm.
football. It's really next level. The best of the people who are the best in the world at doing anything need more respect because
Yeah,
they're
bro.
doing something that a lot of people would love to do.
And I think you ended this session that day because not because they were tired, the rest of us were getting beat up. You're like, these they can't take anymore. They literally cannot catch
Yeah.
anything else at this point, man. But it just made me think of that. I wanted to, make
Hmm.
sure I, drop that in
Yeah.
there. But so you want to continue to have an impact. What's the next vision if you have one, or you just kind of taking everything as
I want to be able to build a more sustainable business.
Yeah.
Is the next piece
Okay.
because I well I have some really good people on my team who I
Mm-hmm.
think do an amazing job in terms of building the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been so far detached from that part of things for a very long time. And I know people see me, they're like, no, you're always,
Yeah.
but I don't get to do like the business building that I think
Mm-hmm.
is really important. A lot of times they're taking my ideas and executing based on very little information, which
Mm-hmm.
I understand how difficult that could be, especially
Yeah.
for them when I'm giving them such a little amount of info. But
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to set something up so it's scalable nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks from all over the country are like, I want to be involved in the quarterback takeover
Mm-hmm.
community. We're doing some things online that'll be available really soon.
Dope.
That
Dope.
is
That's what's
going
up.
to, I think, build our brand in a real way
Yeah.
and allow us to make money while we're not
Gotta be present.
there,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that's been too much of the things that we've been doing. It's like we've had to be in the weeds doing the things to make any money.
Yeah, man. That's the other side that people don't see. Especially, I mean, you're the face of the brand, rightfully so. You've grown it, but it's like all the back end stuff, dude. That it's just like I just, I get it. Sometimes you
Mhm.
just want to do the thing.
You would love to just be able to do the thing that you feel great about,
Right.
but there's so much other stuff to building a business
Yeah.
that wears on you.
Hmm. Hmm. Has that experience, your experience in building QB Takeover, has it helped, or have even like some of the guys that you train, especially as they get to the league and hell now,
Mhm.
a lot of the guys who get NIL deals, right? Like, are you able to relate to them or provide them some level of like guidance or advice or just something to think about as they go out here and they start.
I think that I could do a better job of that,
Mm, mm,
especially being able to give them a little bit of guidance because I've done a lot of I've gotten brand deals. Like I
right.
went out there and
Exactly.
got them on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I figured out percentages for agents. I've done
Hmm.
all those different things. But I try to stay out of their business in that
Okay.
way because I know how tricky it gets. I know
Mm,
how possessive people on their team are about the things that they're doing. So even when I see them doing something that's a little bit off, I tell them like, "Hey, I might not do it that way. You should
yeah.
really look into it." But I
Yeah.
stay out the way.
Yeah. Respect. I get that. I get that because you never want to. I understand why you would say or how it could be a thing that's very possessive, especially when you're talking about money.
Hmm.
And people are like, oh no, I brought that deal to the table. And, it's like, look, I'm just here to train. You
Right.
know what
That
I'm
might
saying?
even be a bad deal, but
Right.
you know what? I'm out of here.
Yeah, man. What's your take on all this NIL stuff right now?
I think it's amazing.
You think it's amazing?
I
Yeah.
think that it's really easy for coaches to get possessive
Mm-hmm.
over guys having the freedom to go do the things that they want to do in order
Mm-hmm.
to provide for their family. But they don't say anything when they get a better job offer and they leave while they
Mm-hmm.
still have years remaining on their
Mm-hmm.
contract. Now, maybe there's a better way that we can do things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I wish that parents would be less involved in these guys' interactions in the NIL world, right? Because I don't think that they're very helpful because I don't think they understand the space
Yeah.
or they don't understand business in that way. A lot of people have worked their whole life in a 9 to 5 situation where they haven't had to negotiate. They hadn't had to go find deals. They haven't had to
Mm-hmm.
really talk about a contract in a way that had real lasting impact. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
different when you're asking for $39 instead of $34. Like that's a conversation, but it's different to say, hey, I need $2.5 million
Mm-hmm.
rather than the $1.5 million. But here's why. Here's the value that
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
bring if we come here. So getting those guys out of those space, helping
Mm-hmm.
parents just be parents. But I would love for NIL to keep doing exactly
Yeah.
what it is doing because a free market is what we have in
This is true.
every other space in America. It's a free
Yeah.
market. College sports is the only place that limits where guys can go, how long
Mm-hmm.
they can be there, and how much money they can make.
Mm.
And I think that actually something's going to be interesting. There's going to be somebody one day who sues, says, "You guys not allowing me to play college football for longer than 4 years or longer than 5 years
Mm-hmm.
is preventing me from providing income for my family." And when that happens, it's going to be a real storm for all the people involved.
Yeah, I never really thought about that, but it makes sense. I mean, I heard someone, I can't remember where it was, probably saw it on the gram or something, but I heard
Hmm.
someone talking about, and this came up in one of the other episodes that we had where with the emergence of like NIL and the changes, how it evolves,
Hmm.
now colleges end up being kind of the feeder system like it is today, right? But officially, like G League, for lack of better words,
Mm-hmm.
or semi pro, whatever it may be. And now, if you're a college coach and you're trying to build out the roster on your team or whatever it may be, it's just like, look, I'm gonna get all the best guys. We're gonna pay them the most amount of money, and everybody's hopping in the transfer portal and
Mm-hmm.
all these different things. But it inevitably has changed the dynamic of how college recruitment works, right? But I'd be curious to kind of get, your thinking or at least elaborate more on, well, what does that mean if I want to stay in for 8 years, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be That's what I think is gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
people are just gonna say like I want to stay longer, but think about how it's changed recruiting for FCS teams,
Hmm.
right? Because they're just developing a guy so that they can go to a bigger school.
Yeah.
It's no longer we got this guy, we made him really good, and now he's gonna stay here
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
he really enjoys the experience. No, somebody just is able to outbid you in a way that's so meaningful that it would be bad on that young man not to leave, right? It'd be just a
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
decision. And then you got guys, but people don't think about the other thing. There's smaller teams,
Yeah.
right, who might say, "I want this guy really bad," and we're willing to pay him
Hmm.
more than a bigger school is going to pay him, right? Because he's going to be the guy for us. He'd be a guy for them.
Hmm.
So there's that difference there. So there's so many of those different things. But yeah, there's going to be somebody who's like, "I don't want to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't want to go pro. I just want to be in college. I'm making money here. This is what I'm going to
I'm
do." And I
good.
think that it's going to happen. I know people are going to be like, "Oh, he's crazy for saying that,"
Hmm.
but I guarantee we're 5 years away.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. They have to change something. They have to change something. Do you think I know we talked about parents a little bit,
Hmm.
and I know you got stories, right?
Parents are the biggest prohibitors
Yeah.
of not just athletes but kids' success.
Yeah.
They are so big at taking away any potential adversity from kids,
Mm.
young men, young
Hmm.
women, whatever that may be, that they don't have the resolve when they get put in situations where it is difficult or it is some adversity that they can go back and be like, hey, I can hang my hat on that one time when I was going through this.
Hmm.
I made it through, right? And I
Hmm.
know that I can
Hmm.
do it again. They don't have that muscle. And it is a muscle that needs to be constantly flexed. It's like going in the gym.
Yeah.
Like you work out. So if anything happens, you're able to respond in that moment.
Hmm.
These They're not getting any workouts. Every time something bad happens, their parent pulls them out. Right? No, let's get you in a different classroom.
Hmm.
Oh, let's get you on a new team. Oh, you're not playing enough? No, it's not. You need to work a little harder, get better at the game. We need you to go on this team.
And it's happening at an early age too.
You
Like
see it at 8 years old, 9 years old,
That's crazy.
right?
That's
You
crazy.
see all these different
Yeah.
kids, and it's not just that. Like anything that happens negative, they
Hmm.
don't let kids figure it out on their own, and we're going to have a society where every single difficult situation looks like a crisis.
Mm.
They're not all crises. Sometimes you're just in a difficult spot, and you got to figure out how you're going to get out of
Yeah, especially for someone like you, man, that has been through some shit.
it. I hate it.
The moment someone faces any level of adversity and they shy away from it, and especially if they, come to you and they want some sort of sympathy or whatever it may be, you're like, yo, look who you talking to.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't identify with that. You got to figure out a way. You got to figure out a way to make it happen and get over whatever this is that you got going.
And sometimes being a mentor or a big brother or a
Hmm.
parent looks like telling somebody to figure it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I think that we always think that we
Hmm.
got to provide people with answers
Hmm.
for everything they're going through. Sometimes we don't.
Yeah,
Hey man, I'm here to support you, but you got to figure that out.
yeah. No, that's real. More people need to look at it that way, man. They really do. They really do. Transitioning to the NFL a little bit, lot of changes, trades, free agency signings, all the different things happen this offseason. Which one do you like the most? That jumps right out at you.
I'll talk about one of my guys, Geno Smith to the
Yeah.
Raiders, and I think
Mm.
that that's going to be really good because Geno, he's going to thrive in a situation where there's a coach who really believes in him.
Mm. Okay.
I think Pete Carroll believes in Geno in a way that is unique. I think that not only does he believe in Geno, but he does a tremendous job with quarterbacks in general in terms of
Hmm.
instilling them with confidence, allowing them to make mistakes and still being confident after those mistakes happening,
Hmm.
knowing that he still has faith in them despite all the things that they're going through.
Yeah.
You sometimes need a coach to be like, bro, I don't give a shit how many interceptions you throw. You're my
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
right? And when you get that level of confidence, you end up throwing less interceptions because you're not hesitant. You get to see something, you get to attack, and you get to make aggressive decisions. And I think that allows you to be really successful at the highest level.
What makes Geno unique?
Geno's the best thrower of the football in the world.
Really?
People
You gonna get in some trouble?
they hear me say that and they
Yeah.
think that I'm crazy.
Okay.
I've seen everybody throw. There's
Yeah.
no one who I haven't
Okay.
seen throw.
Yeah.
I've seen Mahomes throw in person.
Mm-hmm.
The only person I haven't seen up close and personal throw is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
But everybody I've seen throw, Geno Smith is the best thrower of the football in the world.
Like describe that. I mean, I know sometimes it's like it's an it thing.
Yeah, it is, but it's and I'm not saying that being a great thrower is the number one trait
Right.
that
Yeah,
you
I
need
get
to
what you're
be a
saying. Yep.
quarterback, but just throwing a football, he can throw the ball with pace and energy, which means he can throw it hard. He can throw a ball that is layered, which means gets up and down. Let's say there's a defender between me and you, but you're open. I just have to get this ball up and down before the safety behind you gets. He can do that. He throws a great ball with big touch, like up in the air, tracks it well, and gets it to finish exactly where he wants. And he's amazingly accurate. And he moves in the pocket well to get him in position so he can do these things throwing the football. I think that if Geno started his career today, rather than when he started it, the things that he can do, we would look at him in a completely different way.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now I got to pay closer attention
I
to
got so
more.
many videos of Geno. I'm
Yeah,
like, yo, this is insane.
yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Who do you think is a sleeper that's going to surprise a lot of folks?
Not a guy that I work with, but I really hope that is. I shouldn't say I'm confident that he's going to be, but I hope that it's JJ McCarthy.
Okay.
And the reason that I do is I think that he does do some things really well as a quarterback. I don't think in the way that I talked about Geno being able to layer football, or throw a ball with big touch. I think JJ McCarthy right now just has a fastball. And if you're able to develop these things throughout the season, I think that he could have a great year. He has probably one of the best play designers in the NFL in Kevin O'Connell, who does a lot of unique things to get Justin Jefferson in one-on-one situations when every team starts out double teaming him, whether it's a motion or a shift or a play action. He puts people in binds and stresses them out, knowing the defense's rules. So he does those things, and he's going to put McCarthy in a position where he can be really successful. And you know that if he's successful, or if he's not successful, it's really a him thing because it's not Kevin O'Connell. He's always going to do a great job for his quarterbacks.
Okay. All right. What move do you feel like is not the best one?
Sam Darnold to Seattle.
Okay.
The reason I said that, Sam Darnold's leaving the best play caller in the NFL, going to someone who I think is really unproven. I think that I just hope that he's a starter at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, you think? Okay.
It could be ugly, right? They also drafted somebody pretty early in Jalen Milroe.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be difficult, and I hope the best for him because I really like Sam Darnold as a person. I just think that it's difficult going from somebody who's so good at calling plays, who schemes things open so well, gives you very defined rules, and allows you to be successful in that way, going to a completely different situation. We've seen him struggle a lot of different times, and he had the opportunity to go back to it. I think he did. I don't know what they were talking about money wise for him.
Yeah.
I know you got to go make your money, and I hope he does. And I want him to be successful. But that scares me.
Okay, I guess we'll see. We'll see. All right, what's your take on Shedeur, man?
Ooh, I think that the way that people see Shedeur is really, really warped.
Okay.
I think that social media has done a number on us. I don't think that people are aware that there's been a lot of people who've been able to play like him in college football and not only not be successful in the NFL, but not even get drafted. There's like someone like Colt Brennan who did more than almost any quarterback in terms of throwing the football in college. He wasn't drafted. And I think physical attributes, a lot of things Shedeur has are similar to someone like Colt, not an elite first round talent. And that's why I said where I thought he would get drafted.
Yeah.
Based on just what I've seen. I'm not. Hey, I do not like his father.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with the young man.
Yeah.
Like he's done nothing for me to not like him. I really honestly root and cheer for every black quarterback. Somebody just asked me my opinion honestly, and I just don't think that he has it.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that he did a good job in the preseason in week 1, but I don't think that performance is something that we're going to hang our hat on. Right. There's a lot of people who've done really well in the preseason who have not been able to be successful in the regular season. And he's a fourth quarterback. A fourth quarterback is more likely to be cut from a team than be named than be even on the roster. Let's not even talk about being the starting quarterback.
Okay.
He's more likely to be cut from a team than even be on the practice squad. In terms of just traditionally.
Right.
Now I think
I
Shedeur's situation is a little bit unique. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be on a team or a team in some capacity. So we'll see what it looks like.
Ooh, okay. All right. No,
And
I
that's
respect it.
me just
Yeah,
like that's like
yeah,
just a real
yeah,
honest
yeah, yeah.
assessment
No,
of him. Like it's
I appreciate that. Yeah. Because a lot of people were surprised he, you know, I'll be honest, I was surprised that he went to what, the
fifth
fifth
round.
round? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So were you anticipating that? Like, was that even a bit much for you, or you
I
like
said the 6th round 2 days before the draft. So
fair enough?
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
right around there, fifth,
yeah,
sixth round is where I had his talent taken him.
yeah. And you're coming from a very informed place that's seen, like you just said, you've seen
Not only
the
that,
best
I
of the
talked to
best.
teams.
True. Okay.
Like I'm talking to people in the organizations who've interviewed him
Hmm.
and some of those things.
What was the general like consensus? Like off the field was
Off the field, I
yeah.
think that his character is really good.
Okay.
So I would never like attack
Yeah.
his character. I think that he's done nothing in a way which we could talk about his character.
Hmm.
His football knowledge, though, is not up to snuff. There's things or questions that people would ask him about protections or how you read a play or what are you doing in that way that was cause for alarm for them. And it was like, I shouldn't say a sense of entitlement. He thought it was one way and it was the other.
Got you.
He thought that he got to bring his system with him. Hey, this is what we did.
Hmm.
You guys do something like this? No, we don't. No, here's what you're gonna have to do. And that I think was difficult for him.
Okay. What's the biggest adjustment? Not necessarily just with Shedeur, but I think
The speed of the game.
yeah,
You're playing against all professionals.
yeah.
So think about back to your career in high school basketball.
Hmm.
You could do a move, it
Hmm.
worked, and you can go back and do that same move again, and you got a chance for that move to work, right? You can say in
Right.
high school, you can go get a bucket, you can go
Yeah.
run that bucket back.
Right.
In college, it's like,
It's a
that
little
worked last
different.
time, but
Yeah.
in the NFL, you might get away with the move one time, but you're definitely not going to get away. There's
Hmm.
no second. You don't ever get to come back
Yeah.
to a situation and get another chance of redemption
Yeah.
on the same play,
Yeah.
right? These are the best of the best. There's nobody out there who's not really good at whatever they're doing.
Yeah, no, it's different, man. It's different. I'll never forget, man, playing in high school, like you just said, and getting to Morehouse and playing guys who had been in college for a couple of years.
The guys were
Like,
the best
ooh,
guys in their high school, though,
right.
too. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
they're the best in their high
It's an
school.
adjustment, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's an adjustment. So I can only imagine at that level,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's way different. It's way different. And you gotta, it could be really, really humbling, which it should be, but it should also be something that I would imagine for the guys who got staying power and who end up being successful. It's just like, all right, well, I gotta tighten up.
There's some things you
It's
got to
the only,
figure out.
yeah, yeah. Who do you like? Who do you think is the most pro ready guy coming out of college, or is poised? Depending on the season that they have this year, right? But
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope Cam Ward. I really like
mhm,
him. Like I really like him. He does some things really well. His arm's very electric. His demeanor just seems like he's able to carry himself. And the things I hear from Calvin Ridley about the way that he works, how he's been in
mhm,
his hip pocket
mhm.
the whole off season. Like those are the things that I want to hear about a young man who's trying to take their game to the next level.
Yeah,
So that's what when I hear those things, I'm like, he's got a chance. Now in a stronger quarterback class, he might not have went first, but he went first this year. So you
yeah,
got a team, go take it over. Go be
yeah.
great.
What's that regimen like for a guy, anybody that is a professional about the craft? And when you talk about work ethic, it's a huge part. Sun up to sundown, you don't have to go line by line, but sun up to sundown, what does that look like
Like in
for
season or off season.
in season?
In season, you should be at the facility 6:30.
Hmm.
Right, your first meeting is probably gonna be 8. You're gonna get your treatment warmed up. You're gonna get ready for your quarterback meeting. You'll eat your breakfast. You'll go in the quarterback room about 7:30. You'll start getting ideas, some things that you see that are
Hmm.
gonna allow you to be successful. 8 o'clock, you go to your meeting. Let's say it's like a Monday, you're gonna go back to the game that you just had. But let's talk about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Those are the big work days in the NFL. So Wednesday, you'll be studying the base downs of the defense that you're getting ready to
Okay.
play. getting yourself ready for your walkthrough that you're gonna have at 11:30. You can go walk through, then you're gonna go lunch, then you're gonna go practice. Now after practice, you're gonna come back have another meeting, right? And then after your meeting after practice, it's on you to stay behind and figure out whatever you need for the rest of that day and how to get ahead for the day tomorrow. So you should be there starting quarterback Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, should be at the building 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. About like should be a real 12-hour day. You're at the facility. I think would be normal. Like that's all right, cool. We got a quarterback who's willing to work.
Yeah, and that's why I would imagine a lot of these guys get. I'm sure it annoys you too, but a lot of these guys get annoyed when, say, they have an off game and the media is talking crazy as if they need to put in more work. It's like, yo, if you understood what my day to day really looks like.
Yeah, it's such a lack of understanding, especially in like fans.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
fans are probably worse than the media. The media, I think, has an understanding. The people who want to make big splashes, they start talking crazy, but the the fans have no idea the amount of work that these guys put in order to be successful, especially in the NFL. Like, these guys they're getting after it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I knew it was a lot, man, but
And you're installing all new
yeah.
plays. You know how I think where people coming up, high school, whatever, the playbook that they got at the beginning of the year is a playbook you use throughout the year. Every single week they're getting 100 new plays. So you're learning these new plays, especially more passing concepts. Run plays will add like a different motion, a different shift, all those different things in order for them to create the angles that they want based on the defense they're getting ready to play. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah. Which quarterback? I don't want to use the word smart, but that's all I can think of. Who's
Processes.
like who
I love
processed it quick?
I love Joe Burrow. The way that
Okay.
his O line is not great, and he's still able to do a lot of really good things because I think he sees the game really well. He's able to get the ball out of his hands and into the receiver's hands. So
Yeah. And when you speak about processing, it's everything that happens before the snap, after the snap.
So let's say we got to play like gun trips right, Z shit, 3 jet, um, sail, sail drive or something like that, right? You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Right.
All those things are telling somebody very, very specifically what to do.
Okay.
So we got to get the formation. So we're going to train right. I probably said Z shit, but I would mean like Z across. So we'll zack the motion, Z all the way across the formation into the slot. 3 jet, that's letting us know that our running back is responsible for the wheel on the left side to any secondary force. My line is going to be responsible for the 4 down linemen to my Sam linebacker. If we get Mike Will, then we got to throw hot, and we're going to throw this shallow cross. But if we don't, we're protected. The back will be responsible for that protection. Then he's going to swing out. We got a sail on the right side, which is going to be my outside receiver running a go or F on a arc release go. Our Z is going to run a 12-yard sail. And now my F is going to run this drive concept. My Z is on that motion. He's going to arc release, run a basic. My back has to check, protect, and swing. But what is the coverage? Because now if it's one high, right, we got to know, are we going to be layering over this curl flat defender on the right side of the field because it is a pass off and switch team, and now we got a tight end over. So many like little things like that you – and we got 40 seconds, right? And they also called 2 plays because they came out in a defense that brought a safety down. Now we got to can it and get to a run play.
What? You saying all that? I can't even think of the next thing that I want to ask you because I'm still trying to process like that.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? And you're playing chess every play, but then you got to execute and being able to throw the football.
Whew. So you think Joe Burrow is like one of the best?
I think that right now he's up there.
The best. Who else would you put up there?
He plays the game at a high level that way. Usually you'll see guys who are less talented have to play in that manner, like really, really good process. I'm not saying CJ Stroud's less talented, but he's done a really good job. And I think that last year he got a bigger dose of it. He had so many O linemen who were hurt, a lot of receivers hurt. Just had to be meticulous in the way he got the ball out of his hand.
How much of what you do as far as like your training is in like how much do you get involved with the actual playbook and all the different things as far as reads that they need to make, whatever?
I will have them do the plays that they're working on at a workout, but I won't get in that because I may have learned to play a different way than
True.
you learned it,
Yeah.
right? Or not even that you learned it, but your coach is teaching it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't. I want to be very mindful of that, and I don't want to put people in bad situations.
Gotcha. All right. Man, that's good stuff, dude. Hey, I'm impressed. I'm impressed, man. I know we clown and do all kind of stuff, but to hear you break that down, man, I mean, there'd be no way that the average person
Yeah,
would
they
get.
wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah,
start getting deep. We didn't get a defense. Like, what are they gonna do on too high? We got quarters, or you know what I'm saying, or their match principles. You know what I'm saying. So there's all those different things.
yeah. So one guy I've been wanting to ask you about
Mm-hmm.
is Jayden Daniels.
Ooh, he's playing really high level football.
Yeah, yeah.
So he played really. Jayden Daniels played amazing last year and played really
Mhm.
high level. I'm interested to see what he does in year two.
Okay.
Not just because of him. I think that he's going to do a tremendous job. But his coordinator was someone who got a job last year.
Mhm.
I think he was doing a lot of things that threw a lot of people off in
Mhm.
terms of how they're going to be able to adjust to him and his offense. It's
Mhm.
going to be year two in his system. People are going to have a little bit better plan.
Yeah.
What answers is he going to be able to give Jayden in order for him to be really successful?
Mhm.
And I think that whatever you give Jayden, he's going to be able to work on and be successful in doing those things. But what is your answer
Right.
for Jayden? How are you going to help
Yeah.
him be right?
Yeah. One thing you touched on this earlier about parents, but a lot of stuff we saw on social
Yeah,
last season with his
yeah.
mom being his agent and supposedly, blocking for lack of better words, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that seems like a situation where I understand it. I think it's dope. It seems like it works for them, but maybe, and you may have different knowledge
Mm-hmm.
around it, but I would imagine most of the times that dynamic doesn't really work out nearly as well.
I've never seen it work out the way that it's working out for them,
Yeah,
and I'm happy that they figured out
yeah,
how to navigate it. But his mom has always been around in that way.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
not like she just waited till he got to the NFL and just
Yeah.
popped up. Even when he came to the Elite 11, she was
Mhm.
there every step of the way.
Okay.
Like, she's at the hotel, she's
Oh,
waiting for him to
she's
get out.
like locked in all the way.
She's been that way his
Yeah.
whole life, and I think that it'd be unfair for us to expect her to do something different now. Even when he was in college, his
Mhm.
mom would be in the head coach's office 4 days a week, right? When he was
Mhm.
at Arizona State.
Mhm.
So I remember during COVID when I was out there training with Deshaun,
Mhm.
I called her to get me on the field at Arizona State. Right. So it's not, I think that she gets probably a worse rap. Now, there is a time where every young man needs to be able to be a man and be
Yeah.
on his own.
Yeah.
And that's on them to navigate, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
real.
I wouldn't want the situation
Mhm.
that he has, but he might not want the situation I have. Like,
Yeah.
or he might not be successful if he was in the situation I'm in. So
Mhm.
I think everybody gets to, figure it out on their own. But at some point, I think she must have, and that, I'll say this. I talk a lot about letting people fail,
Mhm.
and he struggled at LSU, and I think that was a time for him to find himself. He's gonna struggle in the NFL at one point.
Mhm.
I'm not wishing this on anybody. It's just how the
Yeah, it's
game, it's
part
how
of
the league works,
part of the process.
and how you gonna be able to bounce back from that. So
Yeah.
that's what I have my question. I hope that between him and his mom, they figure out how to navigate that situation.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope. Last thing I got for you, man. How cool was it to see your guy Jalen Hurts?
Win the Super Bowl,
Yeah, win the Super Bowl, man.
man. Jalen is one of the hardest working people
Yeah.
you will ever meet, and there's nobody more deserving of the things that they've got than
Mhm.
Jalen. So seeing him win that doesn't surprise me.
Mhm.
Someone who got benched in college, came back when they needed him,
Yeah.
played great,
Yeah.
transferred, played great. They talked about him as a fifth round draft pick coming out of college.
Mm.
Did so much work, got drafted in the second round. Like, he's never stopped. It doesn't stop for him. He continues to get better and better and better.
Yeah. There you have it. There you have it, man. My brother, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure, man, being able to kick it and rap and run this back a few times. That's it, folks. That's what we got. It's another episode of the Heavy on Brand podcast. I'd like to thank my guy Quincy Avery for stopping by the show and just really dropping gems like he always does, talking about business, talking about the NFL, college, all things quarterback. Go check out his documentary, The Quincy Avery Effect, which is on Hulu,
On
right?
Hulu.
Or Disney Plus. You can find it in any one of those on any one of those streaming platforms. It's a dope documentary, but until next time, Thank you for joining us.
If you enjoyed this episode of the Heavy on Brand podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. If you need more information on all things marketing and branding, check us out at thecarbonthread.com. Until next time, stay heavy.